Welcome to Loving God and Loving Life. John chapter 10 finds the theme of the Good Shepherd and his sheep, and a very famous verse in this chapter that, quite honestly, is usually pulled out of its context and misquoted a little bit. But Jesus says in John 26, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me." Well, what Jesus is actually talking about here, usually how this verse is used, is in people who want to say that, I hear God's voice regularly. I'm just following every word that he says, and every day he's speaking to me. It's a little bit dangerous, and quite honestly, that's actually not what Jesus is saying here. When he's talking about listening to his voice, when you put it in the context of what he's saying, he's talking about people, and he's been talking about this, if you followed the last few chapters, about that people that his word, his presence, he's referred to as the very word of God. That the people who, what he's saying is the people who ultimately will have faith in me, the people who ultimately will follow me, the people who will say yes to me, is because my presence is real to them. That's what he means by they listen to my voice. They hear me. I'm real to them. They can hear me. That's what he's saying. He's not, you go through this chapter, he is not giving any examples or any teaching that on a daily basis we're to be hearing God's. I've never heard an audible voice. Yes, have I followed God's directions? Has he led me and directed me in some profound ways? Yes. But it's not quite like listening to a voice the way some people will make it sound. I've followed a few of those people who are always saying, God said, God said. They pretty much always end up in a ditch. Jesus is talking about us following him. Yes, his word, even the Bible, it just speaks to us. It makes sense to us. It speaks to us. Why? We hear his voice through it. That's what he means. We follow him because we have a heart for him. His voice, his presence, his word is alive to us. And that's why we continue following, because we continue to feel his presence in us. God, today, send us one person today to share your love with. Friends, let's never forget that loving God is the way to a life that we love.